Alright, so we just finished the game of 40K. And we lost. What do you do afterwards? Do you do a post-game evaluation? Or even a post-game autopsy to see what went well, what didn't? And the reason I say that is I think it's very important that we take a few minutes to analyze what happened and the losses. And even there are times, and new players, please, I encourage you all to do this. Talk to your opponents afterwards. Say, hey, what did I do well? What did I do wrong? What do you think I could have done differently? Because you're learning. And that's what we need to focus on, is we're always learning. We're always trying to develop new strategies or develop a tactic or technique that kind of suits our play style or the fluff of the army that we're playing. Because let's face it, we all want to win. But sometimes we lose because maybe we didn't take the right units. Maybe we went left instead of going right. Maybe we deep struck in the wrong area. Or maybe it was just the fates of the dice gods getting that unlucky roll on the mishap table for deep striking and the unit was destroyed. Or what I've even had happen to me playing Imperial Fists, where you roll ones, yay, get to re-roll them to hit, and you just roll ones again, and it's like that all game long. So how do you really do a post-game autopsy? Well, you talk to your opponent, and see what they say. Maybe they might have a different idea, a different strategy. I apologize for cars going by. Here comes another one. They may even offer some insights too about, well, keep this in mind, my army can do this, my army's got that, to kind of help prepare you for the next time. Because if a tile player is bringing battle suits with marker light drones, there's a good chance you're probably going to face another opponent or face this same guy in a couple weeks. He's going to bring crisis suits with marker light drones, or pathfinders with marker lights, or something like that. Another thing to think about or to try is something I've done myself, is before you start clearing the table, you look at the field, you look at the board, you look at the terrain, you ingrain that, you burn that into your mind. You burn the final placements of any units that you have left. That's if you weren't table. You think about the mission. You reflect on the mission. And then it's like you hit a rewind button. You start back from the beginning. And you play it out the same way again. Maybe with some different factors. Or maybe you think about what could have happened if I had done XYZ instead of ABC. And I think it's important that we do post-game analysis or autopsies, however you want to put it. Because then we can also look at what I mentioned back in my List 101 video, is what we need to do to tweak our lists. It may be as simple as adding a couple of upgrades, maybe taking away a couple of upgrades, or switching that around. Maybe you need to bring a different unit. Or, dare I say, and I'm gonna probably regret saying this, but back in that lists video, I had said, I advised, if there's a particular model, is there a particular unit that you love to play, you love how they look, and you always want to use them, and make a list around them, depending on your opponent, depending on how your games have been going, maybe you just might experiment and... Hold on. Maybe you just might experiment and take that unit out for a couple of games. Maybe substitute something else. So maybe, let's just say for example, maybe instead of taking assault terminators, maybe you put in regular shooty terminators. Or maybe even try assault centurion devastators. But we should always be looking at a way to improve and to learn from our losses. Because how else do we know what we need to add, what we need to take away? Now, when I say take away, I mean, I'm not saying get rid of any models. Go out and sell them. No, by no means. But maybe just say, hey, put you on the back burner for now. We'll revisit you in a couple weeks, maybe a month or so. Now, there's nothing wrong with analyzing, because 40K is really a game of analyzation, strategy. Because if you think about it, we're always analyzing something. We're trying to see how our army, our lists stack up against our opponents. What do we have that's going to favor us, as well as keep us actually alive and keep as many models as possible on the table? And that's very important. I know there are actually a few guys in my gaming club. They actually will look at and analyze the average of the dice rolls. So, for example, if you're Marines and you have, let's just say, you're shooting with, say, Grey Knight Stormbolters, you got a squad of 5 Terminators. So you got 10 shots. On average, you should be hitting with 6. and then wounding with 4 or 5. And that's just a brief example. But that's how we are looking at 40K nowadays. Now, granted, there's nothing wrong with just saying, hey, I just want to put models on the table, push them around, roll some dice, and hey, if they die, they die. If not, great. But this is for those of us that are learning, we're just trying to get better, we're trying to improve, and maybe we're using this to factor what's going to be our next purchase. Will we be purchasing that Land Raider? Or maybe would it be more important to go for a Storm Talon? Or maybe finally add that third box, whatever, of Canoptech Wraiths. See, we're always thinking, always analyzing. It's kind of like playing a game within a game. And it's a fun game. And it should always be fun. Let's not lose sight of that. But there are times where it can be frustrating. It can be stressful. And when it gets stressful, that's when you just need to sit back, take a deep breath, hold that thought, so hold that, sit back, take a deep breath, and say, hey, maybe it's time I take an actual break from playing 40K and maybe do X-Wing or Dice Masters. Maybe get into Forbidden Stars, an awesome game. But that's just a start to what I feel is a good post-game review. As always, if you have any questions, or if there's any particular topics you would like me to review, discuss, give my thoughts and opinions on, please post them in the comments below. If you enjoy this or any of my previous videos and want to see more, hit that subscribe button. And I'm hoping to get to a point where I can do these a little bit more regularly. As my time allows. But for now, let's start up a discussion about how we analyze our games after the fact. After we've won, after we've lost. This should be a great discussion.